Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Micah and today we're going to be showing you how to set up and configure your Deako lights with Alexa. Turn on downstairs. These are the two switches I'll be showing you how to install and configure. On the right is this newest version of the smart switch, really nice. On the left is the older version. They both have different ways of setting up and some unique features, so we'll be talking about that. And then later in another video, we'll talk about the dimmer. So one of the main reasons why I love this new home that we got is because it came with a number of smart devices. We got a Ring front doorbell, smart garage, and also these lights. So in a normal house, you have normal switches, turn off and on, but every single one of these switches are upgradable to the switches that we showed earlier. So this panel, the hoses switches, just comes right off just like that. And then we see the smart, the newest version of their smart switch, the older generation, and then the simple switch. The far left smart switch controls these 6 can kitchen lights here. Turn those off and on. The one in the middle controls this center dining room table light. And then we have the simple rocker one that is in the other room, but it just turns the light on and off, and it's not smart at all. It's just an example of what the house comes with and what you upgrade from. Each of these switches can be easily removed by pulling this blue tab here. And then the switch slides right out. And then you can replace it with any other switch that you want to upgrade to. And so just as easy it was to take out, you simply slide it back in, give it a little pressure, push the switch on, and then it's just a normal switch again. All right, so these switches that we showed here are mirrored on the other side. Many times switches in a house, there would be more than one switches that control a single light. So these are the parity switches. And this, these panels also come off. So these two lights also control these two. It doesn't have the third, which controls another area. But if you can tell, click those, the lights went off and they both come in. They actually have a unique sound. This more glossy one has more of a softer sound, where this is more like a click. But anyways, what I'll be showing you first, since everything's already set up, is how to reset these so that way you can move them and place them wherever you want. And then I'll show you how to set them up again and pair them so they work with Alexa. So the other thing I want to tell you guys is when you're removing your default switches, if you had issues pulling this out, like it was stuck for some reason, the only way to get this out is to actually unlock this top blue pulley. If you remove this back plate or try and get around it by removing the other switches, it's not going to help at all. Just pull on this tab a little bit harder and it'll eventually pop out to where you can pull it. So these switches, they don't have to be set up or anything because they just only turn off and on. But like I said before, we're going to be resetting these so that way I can show you how to set them up. So on the older version, has a little bit more of a complex way of resetting, factory resetting. What you have to do is, and this might turn off the light, but pull the tab to remove the device. See, it also comes out just like that. But this time, we'll just put it back in. And you see this, the blue tabs go in between the little gap here. Once this is put in, you'll see it flash. Hold this for 6 seconds. Then tap 3, 2, 1. And that one is now reset. Additionally, we're going to reset the new version, and it's a lot simpler. So we have the light button here, which we were clicking for the other one. But additionally, this new version has a configuration button at the bottom, which is kind of hard to see. But if we hold this button for 6 seconds. It should glow red. Yep. And that's it. That'll be reset. Way easier, way faster. Definitely like the new version for that. But we'll do the same on the other side. I won't show you that, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I just was over there and I reset those 2 lights, and it came over here, and I told you I was just gonna reset these, but then I ran into a problem, and this is good for you to know. So there's a certain like notation with these lights referred to in the documentation as having power. So in order for one of these lights to work, power has to be on the switch. Sort of hard to wrap your head around, but essentially, since this light is not on, and we had turned that one on and we were resetting it, that light has the power. So this one, if I try to remove it and put it back in, we don't see the flashing lights for me to reset. That's because this light doesn't have power. So in order to fix this, we just have to come over here, click this, and we'll actually see that this light starts to light up on its own. Now the light didn't turn on because they're not synced, but now if I remove this and place it back in, we'll see that it has power, and now I can reset it. So same way, hold it for 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. While that's going, we'll reset this one. I believe this shouldn't matter if it has power or not, but let's see. Okay. All right, guys, we're almost to the home stretch. So now that we've reset all the lights for both of our 2 sections, our 2 switches, and I went in my phone and actually deleted the old lights. I'll show you how to reinstall those later, but they need to be deleted first, so we'll cover that. But now that everything's resetted, make sure that everything's resetted, because you won't be able to set them up again unless they're factory reset. So if you skip that part, go back to the beginning and watch how to do that. So first, what we'll do is we'll set up the older version of the smart switch. That's done by, first we'll just hold this for 6 seconds. And this 1 will come up, and what we'll do is we'll hit the 1. So the reason why that came up is because this side has power. If this side didn't have power, then we would not be able to have done that. Let's go to the other side. So if we do the same thing over here, hold this. Since we had hit that 1 over there, it switched to power over here. So now we hit the 1 over here. All right, now they both have 1 and 2 on. And the 1 is flashing. So at this point, we hit 2. Gotta give it a little bit of a tap. So now they're gonna start both flashing 1, 2, and 3. And if we look up at the light above, it'll start to flash on and off as they configure and set up and pair, so that way they can both be in sync when they control the light. So don't be alarmed if they flash on and off. All right, come back this way. So that's going to continue to flash. All right, so now it stopped flashing and we're all set up. So once we click this button here, the light will turn off and they're all set up. These 2 here are paired for the dining room light. All right, so now we're gonna do the smart switch for the kitchen lights. These are the new ones. And as you see, They do work functionally as they're reset. That's means we're good to start. So basically what we'll do here is use this configure button. Well, first we'll want to remove it, plug it back in. This will flash green. The light can be on. Once that stops, we want to hold this. It should turn purple. It turns purple because it has been reset and it's not already set up. Otherwise, it would have stayed the same color. And if you kept holding it, it would have turned red to reset. So we'll come over here and do the same thing. Just hold this button. So now they're both purple. So now from any side, all we got to do is come in and hold it again. Those turn white. So if we come over here, this one also turned white. And as you saw, the lights came off because they're again configuring how they're gonna pair and work together to control this light. And it's at this point where you're safe to go ahead and put the cap back over, just like this. Clicks just in. What I wanted to say last is the design. So the new smart switches, what I like about them, they're a lot easier to use. As you can see, less steps. You have the separate configure button to control those. Also, the color difference between the standard rocker switch and the new smart switch are a lot more similar. Where we have the older models, a little glossy, looks a little bit more dark. Definitely noticeable when you have all three set up like this. But yeah, that's pretty much how you set these up. In a minute, I will show you how to add these lights to your Deako app and connect them with Alexa, because right now, if I told her to, she would have no idea how to turn off these lights. So we'll take a look at that next. I know that was a lot to absorb at one time. We covered a lot, but I think it's a good comprehensive video that covers a lot of stuff that you would have to look in different places to get. So the things that we covered today were how to factory reset your existing lights. I showed you how Alexa currently controls those, and I showed you how to set them up. I also showed you how to pair your light switches just in case you have more than one switch that controls those. And these are the switches that we talked about. Again, it's not a paid advertisement. These are the switches that actually came with my house. It's one of the reasons why we bought this house and we got the smart switches. The difference between the smart lights and smart switches and why I love Deako so much is that it's all upgradable. We didn't have to buy or purchase these lights all up front at the beginning. They're movable, so I've definitely moved these switches from down here to upstairs or kind of wherever, kind of test things out depending on what we're going for. And they've definitely made my life easier. Great project to work on technology-wise as well. Another thing is, as a part of a smart home, lights are a big factor. Ties into safety and security, especially at night when you have to be able to see things. So again, if you're in the market for smart switches or smart lights, I do recommend Deako, because you never know how often that you use your light switches every day. So automating that and making that easy for you is a must. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. I'll be talking about use cases for your Deako lights, going over smart home automation stuff using Alexa. I have music stuff on my page as well. I also mentioned this at the beginning of the video, the smart dimmers, which I love even more than the regular ones. So I'll definitely be sure to talk about these later. And yeah, check me out on YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.